Shabbat Shalom everyone. This week we enter Parshat Chukat, which is another phenomenal parsha in the book of Numbers in Sefer Bamidbar itself. And the parsha starts off by stating, Zot Chukat Torah, Asher Tziva Hashem Lemor, Daber el Bnei Yisrael, V'yikchu elecha Parah Aduma. So in a nutshell, this translates as that God commanded a decree that you shall take a red cow. So firstly, what is this exactly? What is this? This was basically, there were in the time, since the time of creation, they state, the Midrash says, there'll only ever be 10 Parah Adumas, red cows. So what is this exactly? It is a cow that is totally red, all throughout its formation. It's got 2 standing hairs featured in it, and it never bore a yoke. And this, we've discovered 9 of them throughout Jewish history, and the 10th one will come at the time of Moshe, the time of the Messiah. So what is it exactly? They say that in the Midrash relates that you would take this red cow and burn it in the Mount of Olives in Israel, and you would mix it together with a live spring water and mikveh water with these ashes together, which will purify a contaminated person, and the process itself would be done by a Kohen, someone that is pure, tahor himself. So what is featured over here? Why this red cow exactly? So Rashi says that this mitzvah of the red cow itself is a chok, it's a statue, where we can't really question it. It's something that God commanded over to us, and you can't really comprehend it. Unlike the mitzvot of the mishpatim, which are ordinances, where human logic can reason why those mitzvot come about, the meanings of this different mitzvot. So what is the process again of the red cow? As I stated before, you mix these ashes together of the cow with a live spring water, and also you would use a cedar wood, a hyssop also featured inside it, and a thread of dyed red wool with it, which would have come from the blood of a worm, all mixed together, and this will start the purification process. And this mitzvah of the Parah Aduma, the red cow, is one of the greatest paradoxes, especially inside the Torah itself. It's where, as I stated before, a Kohen, a pure person who is in a pure state, will have to sprinkle these ashes on someone contaminated. The contaminated person himself will become pure, and the person that is pure, that's sprinkling the ashes himself, will now become contaminated, which is hard to fathom. Even King Soloman, Shlomo HaMelech says in the book of Kohelet, he states that despite being the wisest of all men, he couldn't comprehend the reason, the human logic towards this mitzvah itself of the red cow, the Parah Aduma. So it has been said by some of the Midrashim and the sages that the red cow, this mitzvah, the red cow itself, the Parah Aduma, is in conjunction as an atonement for the Aveira, the sin of the golden calf, the Chet HaEgel, which is featured in Parshat Kitisa in Sefer Shemot. So what happened with in regards to this Chet HaEgel, the golden calf? It was basically when Moshe had went up to the heavenly realms to communicate with God. He never returned on the 40th day. The Jews of Israel, they miscalculated when he was coming back, and they panicked, and there was a massive tumult going on, and they, in their frustration and their worry, they took their gold and they threw it inside a fiery furnace, and out came a calf, a golden calf, and they started idolizing it and worshipping it, which was a phenomenal, terrible, great Aveira, sin that the Jews had caused, and God was furious. So they say that in conjunction to this, connected this, there was a mitzvah of the red cow. So why? What's the reasons? There's a lot of hints towards this mitzvah of the red cow. Firstly, the cow itself is totally red. And what does that symbolize? It symbolizes sin. Secondly, with regards to the golden calf, the Jews threw off the yoke of the mitzvot, the yoke of God they threw off when they did this idolatry. So this goes against the red cow, where a yoke has never been born to it at any stage. And also, with regards to the golden calf, they threw their gold inside of it, their lumps of gold inside it, and formed something. Within regards to this mitzvah of the Parah Aduma, the red cow, we are burning it. We're burning it into ashes and eroding it as opposed to what happened with the golden calf itself. So each of those attributes were against each other, in retribution against each other, let's say, to comply full atonement to that great sin that had occurred. Okay, so as I said before, it was a phenomenal paradox which had taken place over here, which we can't fathom. However, according to Medrash itself, it does state that one person did understand what this mitzvah of the red cow, the Parah Aduma, is, respectively, and that was Moshe. When he went inside the heavenly realms and communicated with God, he was revealed all the secrets of the Torah, including the red cow itself, so he knew it. So many of the Hasidic philosophers actually state that by Moshe knowing it himself, it became this mitzvah more palatable within regards to man. And seeing that we are intelligent human beings, us men in this, different people inside this world, and we always want to grapple and grasp different understandings, because Moshe knew this mitzvah itself, we can now try and discover it, to understand it to its full zenith. And this doesn't go to any coincidence with, now that we're in the 21st century, there's been a renaissance of the internet, and with libraries and books and manuscriptures. We can find anything now digitally. Anything that was recorded in the greatest libraries in the world, it's with a click of the finger now. So now there's like no excuse. We want to look at delve into a Torah subject which seems very difficult nowadays. We have on the fingertips of ourselves resources to find all the different manuscripts within regards to it, the Hebrew manuscripts, within regards to all the different rabbis across the world that had lived, whether they had been in the great countries of Germany or Hungary or Poland, or whether they had been in Tunisia, in Morocco, or in Iran, or the different rabbis in these different countries. They all came with different conclusions, with different sources within regards to each Torah topic. And we can spend our days, we could look into a topic we are fascinated by, just like the Parah Aduma itself, or anything within regards to the Torah, and we can use our time to see what all the great different rabbis had stated over the different millennium, and to actually grapple with it and get the greatest understanding with it. We can choose our time nowadays to use our incredible intelligence to find out these things. We live in a world where there's also a lot of nonsense in the world. There's a lot of things that haven't got meaning, which is very popular in modern day to look into. However, we've got the Torah at our fingertips now. We've got it digitally. We've got libraries across the world. Now there's conclusive books on all these things where we can try and grapple ourselves and look into it. And that's a bracha of King Soloman. That's a bracha that Moshe gave us, where we can use our intellect, because we were born to have this intellect and the thirst of coming closer to God and coming closer to keeping the mitzvot. And not just by keeping the mitzvot, also by researching the different mitzvot that there is. And I would like to dedicate this to Torah Lilun Ishmat, a very, very young person that sadly passed away. His name was Daniel Yoel Ben Benjamin. May his neshama be having a very great aliyah at this stage in time, and we're very sorry to hear his loss. And I want to wish you all a fantastic Shabbat, Parshat Chukat. And remember, in Chutz Haaretz at the moment, outside of the land of Israel, this week they are going to be reading Parshat Korach. Okay, I want to wish you all a great Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.